Good morning, and happy Friday to everyone. Um, I pray that you have started your day with peace and positivity, and if it didn't come to that, then that's fine as well. Just I'm sending you positive, loving energy. I hope you receive it. But today, I yesterday I found myself in contemplation on the power of the mind where we are literally the creator of our own abundance and just how our own limitations is what truly places limitations on our life. Like for example, I was at the gym and I was working out and I was like, I'm not separate from my desires. And that goes for everyone. No one is separate from their desires. Like if you want something deeply in your heart, it's quite literally already yours. Like, it is quite literally already yours. If you feel it so deeply in your heart that it's like you can almost visualize it, like you, not even almost, like I find myself visualizing things all the time. It's not just because I get premonitions, like at times I just find myself visualizing and things, and next thing you know, it's happening. Like, so if you can even like get to the point where you visualize it, why can't you achieve it? Why can't you do it? Why can't you accomplish it? And it's normally because of what you were told, whether if it's you telling yourself that, if it's someone else telling you that, if it's society, whatever, any outside external sources, any fear-based energy. Like when you think of something that you feel like you can't do, like really think of it. Who told you that? Because God didn't tell you that. Your heart didn't tell you that. Your mind did, or external sources. But in this case, I'm mostly just going to focus on the mind because do what you do. Don't let anyone else tell you what you need to do or should be doing or blah blah blah. If it's right for you, do what you need to do. So yeah, back to the mind because that's what it's about. It's about self. Um, you find yourself going back and forth in your mind, and let's be honest, the mind is the one place you can never escape. Like you can escape any external environment, you can escape, even your emotions are fleeting. Like you're not going to experience joy forever, you're not going to experience pain or sorrow forever, or grief. But your mind, that is just an ongoing process. So it's so important to make it a safe place to be. And that is what this last year has been about for me. It's still a work in progress. Like I'm I've hit quantum leaps on what it used to be. I used to suffer from anxiety and ADHD very badly. If you knew me prior to 2025, 2024, you witnessed it having a bunch of tabs open in the brain, um, often stressing about the future, not really being present all the time in the moment. So the thing that helped me overcome that is meditation and prayer. And I know something like, what? I promise you it works. Quieting the mind down and starting like actually analyzing your thoughts. And just to briefly say, meditation is not completely silencing the mind. The mind will never be completely silenced. It's about awareness. And I'm going to get to that. But once you realize the self-imposed limitations you place on yourself in your own mind, and that you are not your thoughts, like you are the witness of your thoughts. You are consciousness. Your subconscious is always going to go, but you are not these. Half the thoughts that you experience aren't even yours. You know what I mean? Like, I know you mean, like, whose is it? All of it is not yours, babes. And the reason why I say this is because have you ever just had just like a bizarre thought that you just was like, what? Exactly. So once you realize you are the witness, you realize that you have control. And with that control, you take your power back and be like, I don't have to resonate with this thought. Like, yeah, like let's just say, for example, um, when I went on vacation this past weekend to Key Largo, I went on a solo trip. It was for me, it wasn't for anyone else. Unapologetically my trip. So, of course, you're going to have like people in this is all out of love. Like the people that are around you are going to care about you. They're not going to want you to travel alone. I get that. So I'm not downing that at all. I'm saying like you're going to have people that say, "Oh, I don't think you should go anywhere alone. Maybe you should just wait to go with someone else or blah blah." Let me just say that that trip came in my mind through meditation. It wasn't just like I want to go somewhere. Let me find somewhere to go. No. I was sitting in meditation and I was like, I want to go somewhere. And God, lo and behold, was loud and clear. He was like, Key Largo. I never heard of Key Largo prior to that meditation, not medication, meditation. Um, so when he put that in my heart, once God has the last say so in my heart, there's nothing anyone or anything can say to take me away from that idea. Not even myself. The mind may go back and forth, but I'm the heart. I listen to my heart. I follow my heart. Heart. The world is meant to be heart led, not logic all the time. So if I were to listen to other people, or even maybe the I don't even think I felt any doubt in my mind, but if I did, if I would have listened to that doubt or other people and like had it place fear into my heart, I wouldn't have went and I wouldn't have had the best time of my life. I had genuinely had such an amazing time. But it's all about following your heart and getting out of your mind and also not listening to external sources, even though they mean well. But a lot of times people give you advice based on their own fears and their own self-imposed limitation. Like maybe you don't want to go somewhere by yourself, but me, I'll go everywhere by myself. I don't need a crowd, honey. I enjoy my own energy. So that's just an example of like getting out of your mind and getting out of the external validation of what you want to do in life. Another example is the power of the mind. This podcast, this also came, this idea, this setup came through in meditation. I think the day before, the same day, the day before I got the King Argo trip. And God just be putting ideas in my head at once, and I be having to write them down. But um, I always knew that I would part of my purpose here on earth was sharing my voice. Well, I knew in this past year. In the past, I was scared to be heard or seen, but this past year, I knew that God has been preparing me to share my voice. I just didn't know how. I didn't know how. He reveals things to me in like gradual phases. So, as do all. Um, so when it came to the point of last Monday or Sunday, podcast. I had an opportunity to join a podcast class that would normally cost like $1,000 or something dollars, but it was doing it for free that day, and that was a blessing because it was put in front of my face right at like that Saturday or Friday, and I booked my spot. That Sunday, I was laying in bed 3 in the morning, and I was like, "This is summer, by the way." I was laying in bed, and I was like, I want to do a podcast. Like it felt, and it wasn't like an idea that was just like a light bulb on top of the head. That's not what it was. It was quite literally, I love you too, babes. It was quite literally as if the idea had been in my heart all my life. And that's just another way my soul was telling me, you are already doing this in another life, another reality. It's time to align with that reality that you're in and do it now. So I was like, okay, cool. I immediately got this vision. I was like, I want my pink chairs. This is the exact pink chairs I seen in my mind. I seen just my roses. The roses didn't have to be pink, but they just so happen to be pink. This time I love roses in general, any color. My candle, the light, just everything. This like my picture that I painted, my pictures that are all on the wall, my TeeTalk sign. I already had the TeeTalk idea, the name months ahead. I just like I said, I didn't know it was going to be for a podcast. Um, but as I came to this visualization, imagine if I would have been like, no, I can't do that. What are people going to think? Are people going to listen? I shouldn't do that. No, no, not once in my mind did it come to, I shouldn't do it. Like I said, when God speaks, I know the difference between fear and my intuition. And it is so crucial to know the difference between fear and your intuition because for years, I couldn't tell the difference between the two. But one of the things that this journey has taught me and is still teaching me is the difference between what belongs to me, which is my intuition, and what is just, fleeting human emotions, which is also a part of me. You will never be able to get rid of your fear. You will never be able to get rid of your doubt. You just have to learn to not operate from fear and doubt. It's about awareness. Healing is nothing but awareness. And once you have that awareness and you're like, I don't have to resonate with this thought of fear. I don't have to resonate with this thought of doubt. I don't have to care about external validation or care about any of that. I'm going to do what I feel called to do. That's when you take your power back. That's when you no longer let life tell you what to do. You start co creating with life. So, with that being said, like when you realize how infinite the mind is, like for example, think of the first person that created a plane. Like I flew to Key Largo and just anytime like on a plane, I feel like anyone would think like, wow, this is, well, at least that's how I think. Like this is an amazing invention. Like to be able to fly somewhere and it hold all of these people and all of the like everything, the human mind created that. And think of all of the other things the human mind created, like this microphone, just everything. And when you realize that, it is such a beautiful thing to realize that the mind is literally limitless. You are limitless and infinite, and you create your own reality based off your mind. And uh, when you start to play with the mind a little bit, kind of like trick it and rig it in your favor, because I've gotten to the point where I know everything works out for me. Like for example, my flight was delayed, and most people will say, oh, "Why is it delayed?" Blah blah blah. Like, oh, why is this happening to me? I was like, you know what? This is happening for me. Everything happens for me. You cannot convince me otherwise, honey. Everything in life happens for me. I don't care how unfortunate it may seem at that time. I got something out of it. So when I realized that, I end up being able to sit down and like, airports, you need extra elbow room at airports anyway. Everything literally aligned exactly how it was meant to. I had time and then after everything, back check, etc. Um, I was able to actually sit down and eat without rushing. I was able to get to the rental car right in time to where I wanted originally to do my jet skis anyway. Because I wanted to do jet skis when I first got there before I went to my resort. Um, and yeah, everything just worked out perfectly. So even delays, even what seemed like life delays work out for you in times. Like think of something that you may have hated that happened in the past, but it ended up working out in your favor, even if it was a day later, even if it was a month later, even if it was a year later. Everything in life happens for you. Life isn't your enemy. You're not a victim. And I say that with so much love because I had to get out the victim mode too. When you stop blaming everything outside of yourself for everything happening, or you stop saying, why is this happening to me? And you exit out of victim mode, it is such a powerful thing because you take your power back from all of the old, like, it's that victim mode is the biggest self-limiting beliefs you can have. Like, like I said, the rest of them, doubt, fear, that's human emotions. But victim mode, thinking that everything is happening to you, and like if you feel like you are a victim in life, you will be a victim of life because you you giving your power away to everything outside of yourself. So I had to get out of that as well. Even though I would feel like I was like 70% victim mode, 30% not. Like my soul always knew deep down that there was always a higher calling for me in a different life. But, like I said, I wasn't meant to know the things that I know now at that time. The healer has to suffer first and then return with the medicine. So, um, I've accepted my purpose in that. I don't have no fight in me when it comes to it. God uses me however He see fit, and I'm just like, please. But Like the mind, you can create your own abundance. Like like the way everything teaches you to search outside of yourself, and like in school they teach you, and like I said, I don't want to I'm not down in school. I'm former, well, current no nerd here. I'm more books, not electronics, for example. All of this was a lot to the point where I just went to using this. Like I was just like, yeah, no. But once you start to play with the mind and be like, okay, instead of thinking, why can I do it? Why can I say I can do it? Like you either can or you can't. Either way, you're right. You either can or you can't. Either way, you are right. I'm going to say it a third time. You either can or you can't. Either way, you are right. Because it's all about your own self imposed limitations. Like you can get out, you can, like, for example, getting out of bed in the morning. Nobody wants to get immediately up. Well, some days I do. I'll be happy. I'll be ready. I was ready this morning after another extra hour or two of sleep. But um, when you get up, you don't want to always get up like them. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. You can either choose to be like that for the next 5 or 6 more hours, or you can choose to be like, you know what? No, I'm going to get up because I can. And you're going to get up. So it's all about what you feel like you can or you can't do. And if you side with the I can or I don't know how, or etc., sometimes you don't need to always know how. You just need to first convince yourself that you can do it. And then after that, God will quite literally set the steps in front of you. Now, let me say, I am someone in the past that needed control. I needed to know the next 10 steps. I needed to know how everything would work out when I would only take one step. I needed to know after I take this one step, what is going to happen on step number 11. That was me. I would over plan, I would over just do, and I wasn't fully operating in faith or surrender. And that, I'm not going to say that was my mistake in life, because nothing is a mistake. Everything is a lesson. Like everything is an opportunity to evolve. So once what was I saying? once um once I evolved from feeling like I needed to know every 10 steps, and I just started taking one step at a time. Like imagine going outside and you're walking and you're trying to like leap to the next 10 steps. Like, babes, you can't just take one step at a time. Like you can't teleport to the car. Technically, we'll see. But you can't just teleport to the car. You gotta actually one step at a time. You can run, but as long as you're running to the destination, I guess you know you're running to. But even with that, like that's another thing. Taking each step, not needing to know or control the next 10 steps, and also not rushing those steps. Because the only thing that exists in this moment is the present moment. The past no longer exists, the future is yet to happen. You only have this moment right here and right now. So when you realize that, you just have faith, it's like, you know what, I can do it. Whatever it is, I can accomplish this. And God starts to reveal those next steps. Okay, that's step number one. You finally know that you can. Step number two, for example, I use this podcast. Step number one, I can do it. Step number two, get the things that I would need to do it. Now, quite literally, all I needed was myself and my phone and maybe a microphone, really just myself and my phone. But like I said, I had a vision. I want to pour into that vision. So, boom, that vision was step number two. Step number three, execute the vision, get the things, etc. Map out the plan. And number four, I don't even know what number four was. Number four was just like, okay, just do it. And then number five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, that's all yet to happen. I leave everything to God. I do what I'm called to do, and the rest I leave to God. So, and just the universe is gonna do its big one, like regardless. So just apply that same logic to life. Just realize that you can do whatever you put your mind to doing. And when I say that, you can also put your mind to thinking that you can't do it. Either way, you are right. So put all of your energy into everything can work out for me. Everything I imagine, all of my heart's deepest desires are already mine. everything I want to accomplish in this life is more than possible. Once you rig your mind to realize that you're not a victim, that everything happens for you, and that everything works out for you, and that you are quite literally limitless, you are an extension of God. Whether whatever you believe, like, God is real. Every one thing people can question every religion. People can say what they want about every religion. I'm more spiritual than religious, but I also grew up a Christian as well. So what I found is with spirituality, you know that God is everywhere and that you are God. You're not searching outside of yourself for it. But once you, whatever you believe in, we there's one thing in agreement, regardless of any religion. There is a higher power out there. There is something greater and bigger than us. So that is something that every religion has come to an agreement with. So like I said, whatever you, I'm no judgment. It's all love. The whole point of life is love. Anyway, God is love. That's really what God is. God is love. Love is God. So when you realize that higher power and that you are an extension of that higher power, you are quite literally, you are God in the universe, experience having a human experience. Why can't you do the thing? And also, energy is never created, nor is it destroyed. You can't create energy, you can't destroy energy. So everything that you desire is already here. It's already within you. You just have to unlock that part of you that realize that it is already yours. It is already done. That it's it is done. Like, I wake up every day, like, you can't tell me. Like I said, I'm still working on it. Still working on it. Some days, some moments, you may have a little bit of doubt. I'm human. I'm gonna embrace my humanness. I'm gonna embrace all that I am, honey. I love all of me. But you can't tell me I don't have the life I desire. You can't tell me that my private jet isn't already somewhere on the runway exactly how I freaking want it. Or whatever it's called, that it sits on. But you can't tell me it's not already mine. Because it is. And I refuse to convince myself otherwise. I act as if it's already done. Once you realize you are limitless and act as if everything's already done, it starts to find you. You don't have to do anything. You literally, all you have to do is sit back and receive it as life matches the energy that you're already on. Align your thoughts with what you desire. Align your energy with and your emotions as if you already have it. Don't walk around just like, I'll be happy when this happens. No, be happy now. Act like it's done now because it is. And once you align your energy, your thoughts, your mind, your actions, because choices are also thing. Like, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, all you need to do is just align your emotions and your thoughts and not act. You have to find a balance between acting and knowing when to surrender. And to further explain that, um, when you choose to surrender, you're surrendering the outcomes and the timelines. You're not trying to force anything. But when you choose to act while coexisting with surrender, you, like, for example, podcast again. I knew the vision. If I would have just sit there and just been like, okay, God, I see the vision. I'm just going to sit here. God, when you pray for a cake, God is going to give you the ingredients. You have to use those ingredients. So if I didn't use the ingredients, well, I mean, the cake, where the cake gonna come from? Once you use the ingredients and put the cake in the oven, surrender. Forget the time. Well, not literally, the time you take out the cake, but just taking that metaphor into other aspects of life, just surrender. Like, don't hold any outcomes or expectations or timelines to it all. All you quite literally need to do is just do what you need to do to visualize that vision, execute that vision, and then surrender to the universe. Because at the end of the day, it's already done. You can either sit on your hands and be like, this will never work out. Or you can be like, you know what? Yeah, it can. It's already done. It's already mine. So yeah, just like I said, these are things that I know, but I'm also healing isn't linear. Like I said in my first episode, it is a journey, not a destination. And you guys are on this journey with me. Shout out to you if you're still here. Um, once you quite literally realize that you're going to have moments of doubt, you're going to have moments of fear. You just have to have that level of awareness of realizing I don't have to identify with that fear. You can look at, like, whenever fear comes up to me, I do it scared because the body, the mind and the body is going to react based off evidence. It may still say, well, remember when we did this and this happened, or remember when I said this and they responded this way, or what if this happens? The mind is always going to go back and forth. Like, you can say, I want to wear a blue shirt today. The mind is going to be like, well, what about the purple shirt? Like, it's always going to go back and forth. You have to realize, you have to just observe it. Like, I just be sitting here and observing the thoughts, and I be laughing at them sometimes. It's like, I'm not finna ruminate on this. It's already decided. And it'd be so funny. So just, ah, like I said, the power of the mind, man. Like, if you tell me a year ago, even like last July, that this is where I would be sitting and this is what I would be saying and this is what I would be believing, I would be like, no. But God has been divinely preparing me, not just last year, this past year, but all of my life. Like, I look back on so many situations in life. Like, I was always the shy kid that never talked, but at the same time, I would get up, like if we had group projects or whatever, or even if it was just a single project, we had to do a presentation PowerPoint. That was my strong point, honey. I did not mind when people in the group was like, I don't want to talk. I'm like, I do it. I've never minded talking in front of people. I've never minded using my voice, but I was also someone that didn't talk to everyone, or didn't, like, I got along with everyone. I was like the loner that could talk to any person and get along with them. It didn't matter who or what background or whatever. And that has always been my strong point, connecting with people, but only when I chose to connect with people. A lot of it was lack of confidence. A lot of it was sometimes I just didn't have anything to say. And a lot of times my soul was protecting me from certain energies and not needing to. Some people and some things you don't need to intertwine with. Mm. Dandelion root and green tea mixed. If you don't like green tea, the taste, which I'm not a huge fan, but I can still do it. I get the taste. I like the benefits. I don't care about the taste when it comes to things, most things. But if you don't like the taste of green tea, add the dandelion root tea. Putting those two tea bags together is magic. But anyway, I just wanted to come here and say, like, learn to master your mind, because your internal literally got, like, it literally detects your external. You are the creator of your external reality, and it all starts within. It is so beautiful to look back on situations in life and realize where I was really creating my own torment. And I say that with so much love and grace for the past versions of myself. And let me also say that, please show yourself grace. Please don't be like, oh, why am I thinking this? Or why do I feel like this? Or why did I do that? You need to show yourself grace for who you were at the time of who you were, because every version of you that you were has led you to who you are today. And the version of you that you are today is going to lead you to your higher self as well. So please, when I say this, when I say take back control of the mind, I'm not telling you to beat yourself down. I'm not telling you to overanalyze every thought. I'm telling you to realize you are quite literally like you're in control. And also, like, when you show yourself more love and grace that is unconditional, it makes you go easier on everyone else outside of you as well. I've noticed that, like, I have so much more love and grace for people, whether if it's strangers or past people that I knew, that things may not have always worked out best with, or even people that it has worked. I'm able to analyze everyone in my life, or that I've came in passing with so much love and understanding, because in reality we're all operating out of some type of either adulthood trauma or childhood trauma, or both at the same freaking time. So it's easier to show people grace now. With that being said, do I allow people to just run over? No, no. You got to know when to show grace and unconditional love and still hold that boundary up. But um make sure you're showing yourself grace. Like, don't be the version like, I'm not that girl anymore. And like, it reminds me, like, I seen the podcast that Lauren London was on, and she said it so beautifully. She was like, she can look back at the versions of herself with so much unconditional love. It's like every time I see this clip, I will always repost it because it's like, yes, yes, yes. She can look back on previous versions of herself with love and not ridicule, not what's like, I'm not that girl anymore. Like, that girl is still within you. She's just learned to kind of take the back seat to who you've become today. Your shadows are not meant to be put in a closet or hidden or ridiculed. They're meant to be seen and understood and integrated within yourself. You can be your light. You can be your shadows. It's like this episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where he is seeing the shadow in the basement, and it's been a while since I've seen this episode, but I actually seen a clip on it online where the creator of the show actually went into depth about it too. And he was saying how in order to get rid of the shadow that he was actually scared of all along and running from, he had to talk to it. And when he talked to it, he became friends with it. He actually helped the shadow. So like, oh, I gotta find that episode. But when you actually show love to your shadows and grace to your shadows and understanding to your shadows and know that they're not your enemies. Like when people say fighting demons, the demons that people be fighting are their own shadows. It is nothing outside. It's your own doubt, it's your own fears, it's your own shadows, it's your own trauma. And they're not, I mean, we can call them demons because that devil and the angel on the shoulder, that's just pretty much our light and dark. We have them both masculine, feminine energy, yin, yang, like they make us whole. So once you integrate your shadows and show love to them, you start to love all that you are and you start to honor even your thoughts that aren't yours. Like you start to realize, okay, yes, I don't resonate with this, but I'm not going to beat myself down about it. I'm just going to be like, you know what? I see you. I recognize this old pattern, this old thought habit, this old thought pattern that no longer resonates, and I release you with love. I'm going to do it scared. I'm going to do it unsure. I'm going to do it without needing to control the outcomes. I'm going to do it without putting a freaking timestamp on when I feel things should happen the way I want it to happen. Like, surrender to quantum consciousness, surrender to all that is, because life is going to unfold the way it is going to unfold anyway. Excuse me. Life is going to unfold the way it is going to unfold anyway. The the only way you create torment in your life and turmoil is when you try to fight it. I realized how much I was resisting and fighting the natural flow of life, and it never made things go in my favor. All it did was delay the inevitable. Like, you can't stop what is meant. Everything is already written, but you can delay it. You can kind of, alter it just a little bit, but the path is always going to go back to the path that it's always going to be. But you may create a little extra paths and resistance that don't even need to be there. Um, extra obstacles, and those obstacles are always of the mind. It's always like, well, I need to control this. Well, I need to do this. Well, why isn't this happening the way it happened? Like, there are so many situations where I look back and I'm just like, dang, I was deeply operating in my over masculine energy, because masculine energy is usually just protection. It's protection, but when you're in a wounded masculine energy, and we all have masculine and feminine energies, like I said in episode 1, that is part of making us whole as well. When you're overly in your wounded masculine energy, naturally you're in a protecting mode. That's normal for masculine energy. But wounded is when you're in control, is when you're trying to micromanage every aspect of life. Like, yes, there's a level of protection and action that you have to have. That is the whole point of the masculine energy. But with that action and protection, it's like holding a bird. Well, weird example, I think, but whatever. A bird is meant to be free, like, or a cat. I'm gonna say a cat. because I be seeing people in the neighborhood like their cats go free and they're so cute. Um, and then the cat always returns back home. But what if they was like, well, you know what? I don't want this cat to be outside. I don't want something to happen to it, or I don't want someone to steal it. It's safe over here. I mean, like I said, it's not what most of my neighbors think, but um, imagine if you just kept it up when it wants to go outside. You don't need to cling to anything or grip it so tightly for it to happen or for it to unfold the way you want. Just set it free. When you love something, you set it free. And when you love something, you don't try to control it. You don't try to possess over it. You simply let it be. You protect it, but you protect it out of love, not out of control. And that's where the feminine energy comes in. When you integrate the masculine and the feminine energy, you perfectly, well, nothing's perfect, but you get what I mean. You make it to where the nurturing part, the receiving part of the feminine grounds in with the protection and the action of the masculine. And it becomes just this beautiful harmony of inner union. And that's what the external will mirror for you. Like everything is a mirror. Like I said in episode one, everything is a mirror. If you project your victim mode and your fears onto life, it's going to play out your deepest, darkest fears. And it's because you create your own reality. Like for so long, the things that I feared the most, the things that I feared the most would happen. Now, just like why? It's because I was so focused and fixated on the fears. But once I started operating from more just like love, surrender, like just presence is the best way I can kind of put it as well. Like operating from presence led me to just let go of what I felt things should be or how I felt things should be doing or when this should be happening. And I've never felt more free in life now that I've just kind of released the torment of the mind and I've released how I feel like life should be unfolding or what I should be doing or should. I got rid of that word first and foremost. Like if I wake up one day and I'm a little tired and I'm like, I should go to the gym. That's what I should be doing. Instead of getting in my mind like what I should be doing, I ask my body, what do you want to do? And if the body say I want to go to the gym, I go. If it says I want to lay here and stare at the wall or watch SpongeBob, then I do that. Like I get rid of that should and just be all that I am. So I don't know. This is a random episode, by the way. I don't know if I want to put this on the bonus or episode, but my commitment is every Thursday. I want to at least have an episode posted, but God speaks to me so profoundly. Like I'm clairaudient. I have a lot of the clairs, but when I operate the most in is clairaudient. Sometimes things just come through for me to speak on. So I'm not gonna limit myself to one video per week. Yes, one will be out every Thursday, but you just never know with me. It's gonna be probably three that lead up to that. You just don't know. Or it could just be one, or it could just be every week. Who knows? I just want to say to anyone that's still here, I love you unconditionally. You do not need to be, I don't need to know you to love you. You're worthy and deserving of love just simply because you exist. And thank you for being on this journey with me. I will be completely vulnerable in any episode in any way possible because my vulnerability is my strength. Um, my authenticity is my strength. So I just want to be me and all that I am. And I think anyone that is creating that space to listen to me be all that I am. And I just pray that something in my stories that will come or that I'm explaining now inspires in some type of way. And yeah, thank you for being on this journey with me because like I said, healing is a journey, not a destination. So there will be times where I get on here and I just be completely blunt and vulnerable about what I'm experiencing in this moment and what realizations I may be having. And you know what? You're going to be on the train with me in the best way possible. Just to witness growth, evolution, and to witness life. And also, before I end, I'm not like at first I was trying to like I was like, should I come off as this well polished or should everything be this way? I'm gonna be me. I can't edit out parts of myself in life, so I'm not gonna edit out parts of myself on this podcast. um, I'm gonna be all that I am, and I hope that you realize that you're safe to be all that you are, and that you are worthy and deserving of love in your existence. Let your inner child thrive today. Ask yourself, what is something my inner child would love to do with my adult me probably put up in the closet? Just do that one thing for me. Happy Friday. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, love yourself unconditionally, and be kind. It costs $0 to be a good person. God bless.